right, welcome everybody to NorCal Sports Network. San Francisco Giants taking on the Detroit Tigers in 30 minutes or so. Welcome to the pregame show. And we're going to get right into it today, everybody. We're going to be talking about Marco Luciano and why in the heck is Marco not playing? And if he's not going to play, send him back to Sacramento. He's 22 years old. Is he still 20? Is he 22 or is he 21? Let me look. I think Marco is 22 right now. I should have looked this up beforehand, but by memory, I just want to make sure I got the facts right. Marco is, so I'm looking it up here. One sec, guys. Yeah, he's born in 2001. So he'll be 23 in September. He's 22. Kid needs to play every day. If not every day, at least 5 to 6 days a week, maybe one day off a week. He's 22. He's developing. And the San Francisco Giants, led by Farhan Zaidi, are doing the same thing they did to Luis Matos and Elliot Ramos and Joey Bart. All of their top prospects, they do not develop and play. They just botched the entire thing, and they botched Ramos, and he had to basically get up here by default with injuries to Jung-Hoo Lee, Austin Slater, and Michael Conforto earlier in the season. Ramos was the first player sent down in spring training, was never given a shot to make the club. And then he proves to be an all-star. And yet Luciano comes up, hits almost 400, and he's still hitting 293. He's only had 41 at-bats this year. 41 at-bats, no homers, but a 756 OPS, all while playing spotty time. He's just part-time baseball player. What in the world is Farhan Zaidi doing? Either play the kid or send him down and let him develop, because sitting him for a week does him no good, does the club no good. I mean, think about it, guys. Him not playing, his value, what you're telling other clubs in a potential trade in the offseason is you don't value this guy enough to play him. So I don't get the mindset of the Giants. They're hot right now. They're 61-58, first time all season. They are 3 games over 500, and yet they're sitting Marco Luciano when you can have a player up on the club, whether that's Blake Sable or Matos or somebody. But Marco Luciano, just to sit him is an absolute travesty. It's a joke. It makes absolutely no sense. You know, I get it. You don't want him in the field playing shortstop because you don't think he's reliable enough. But his bat plays, you're going to tell me, yes, he's had some good hits, Encarnacion, but you're going to tell me that Encarnacion is the future over Luciano? Come on. Let the guy play. Put him in as you said he was going to be, DH, or send him back down to Sacramento and let him get his reps in. My goodness. Baseball's a game of timing, Farhan. I understand the baseball bat was bigger than you, and you couldn't ever hold a bat, and all you've got is your little computer analytics to go by. But the guy's got to play, okay? He's got to play. I want to hear from you guys in the chat. What do you guys say about Luciano? Does he just sit like he's doing right now, or do you send him back down? I mean, you got 3 options. The current option is keeping his butt on the bench. The second option is to play him whether at DH, second base, short, whatever. Or the third option is send him back down to Sacramento. What do you guys say? I want to hear it. I want to hear from you. And I'll preview this game here in the next 7 or 8 minutes here. I want to get into this Luciano thing because this is, as I said, it's an absolute joke. The way the Giants have handled their top prospects. And I got a question for you as well. It's Joey Bart, it's Elliot Ramos, it's Luis Matos, and Marco Luciano. All four of those guys not drafted by Farhan's regime. All four of them. The ones that were drafted, Bailey, Fitzgerald, both getting shots. And yes, they rightfully deserve to play. I'm not saying Tyler Fitzgerald and Patrick Bailey don't belong in the lineup every day. They absolutely do. And I give Farhan credit actually for picking those guys, or his staff picking those guys and developing them and letting them play. But what do you got against Marco Luciano? I don't get it. The guy was a top 100 prospect. He was a phenom, supposedly. We've been waiting for him for 6 years. He finally gets up. He's hitting 400 the first half of the time he was up. He comes up, plays spotty, doesn't get much hitting. But look at Patrick Bailey. The guy's down to hitting like 244 or something right now when he was hitting in the 280, 290 range. And his batting average has dropped over 40 points in the last few weeks. And yet, you know, Joey Bart gets shipped off because he couldn't hit. And Joey Bart now has 10 home runs. Imagine Joey Bart in a platoon situation with Patrick Bailey. That would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it? Look, I get it. Joey Bart was a lot of pressure being the second overall draft pick in the 2018 draft and all the comparisons to Buster Posey and the pressure of following Buster Posey. But we all saw that was going to pass here. No one had high expectations of Bart going into this year. Perfect opportunity for Joey Bart to be a backup and a platoon guy. Bailey doesn't hit at all from the right side. Hits pretty well, hits the ball hard from the left side, but the right side, he looks fairly lost. How would you like to have Joey Bartson bat in the lineup 30% of the time? Because 70% of the pitchers, we've said it over and over here on this show, 70% of major league pitchers are right-handed. So left-handed pitchers being about 30% of them, Joey Bart's only going to play a third of the time. That allows Bailey, instead of playing 80% of the time, which the Giants seem to do, not to wear down. So, yeah, Sully, I hear you. Bart stunk here, but he was never really given a fair shake. I think it's probably best that he did move on and he's got a fresh new start. But Joey Bart never got a real shot here. And the Giants blew it, in my opinion, by either not letting him just play and see what you got, play it out. It takes a couple years sometimes to develop, or just trade him early. Traded him 2 years ago when his value is high. But the Giants, you know, you guys have heard the buy low, sell high. It's the opposite with Farhan. It's 180 degrees difference with Farhan. He sells low and buys high. That's what he does. He doesn't know when to sell. As Kenny Rogers said, no, you got to know when to hold them and you got to know when to fold them. Come on. Now you're going to do the same thing to Luciano. Wouldn't be surprised a bit if Luciano gets traded for hardly nothing at some time next year, either in the offseason or during the season next year. And they never really gave Luciano a shot. You've got to play Marco Luciano. So I just don't understand the mentality. And I get it with Farhan. He didn't play baseball. Okay, if he did, it was T-ball. But baseball is a game of you need repetition. You saw it with Steph Curry in the Olympics, right? And he finally started getting enough shots. His shot went down. Basketball, sports, all sports is about rhythm. Heck, isn't anything about rhythm? Playing a piano, you don't play the piano daily, you get better. You play it once a month, it's not going to be easy. Life is about repetition in your craft. And that's why I say Marco Luciano needs to be playing every day. Now, I'm fine if you're not going to play him here in the big leagues. Send him back down to AAA. Let him get his at-bats. Let him develop. This isn't a 28-year-old rookie. He's 22. I mean, how many 28-year-old rookies has Farhan given shots to? He calls up guys we've never heard of, and he plays them, gives them more playing time. What's the guy, Derek Hill? Derek Hill got a bigger shot in the lineup. Trenton Brooks. I mean, guys that, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's mind-boggling to me. And I don't know what's going to happen with Marco, but I would not give up on Marco Luciano. The guy has power to all fields. He just needs to show it. You learn to develop you can face big league pitching, maybe struggle, but then you go back and make adjustments in the off season. Luciano, 41 at bats this year. That's it. 41 at bats for Marco Luciano. Okay. I want to pull up his stats here and I will show you exactly what I'm talking about, Marco Luciano, in just 1 second here. Let me pull these up, guys, and we'll take a look at Marco's stats here. All right. There you go. 41 at bats, 12 hits. He's got an OPS of 715. Look at his OPS plus, 117. 100 is average. Okay, so he's showing above average in the batting statistics. Let's take a look at his season as a whole. 293 at the major league level. He's had 3 doubles. Again, no home runs, but he was starting to show power at Sacramento. 8 home runs in Sacramento, most of them coming in the last month before he was called up. He's been up now for a couple of weeks, hardly played. I mean, remember, 41 at bats, the majority of those were from the earlier part of the season. So Marco, in his last, let me look at his last games here. They usually show the last 5 games, but he hasn't even played recently. So, yeah, there's nothing really there to show for his last 5 games. But look at his prospect rankings, guys. 19, moved up to 12th. Baseball America, 12th in 21. 22, he was 17. Baseball America. MLB had him ranked 13th. Baseball Prospects had him 9th. Look, guys, this is a top 10 prospect that the Giants have had. And they've just botched it. He's still ranked in the top 50 with Major League Baseball and Baseball Prospects going into this season. And what are they doing? What are the San Francisco Giants doing? They're sitting him. Look at Jackson Holiday comes up with Baltimore and they play him. How about Jackson Merrill with San Diego? He's had some struggles, but he's playing and look what he's doing. Jackson Chourio of Milwaukee starting to heat up. Guys, these rookies, it takes a while. What in the heck is Farhan and the San Francisco Giants doing? I don't get this, guys. mind-boggling to sit him. There was a reason he was a top 50 prospect and top 10 a couple years ago, because people saw his talent. It's a dang eye test, people. If you watch him play, he could play. He can hit. But again, it takes rhythm. Get him in the lineup or send him back down to Sacramento. Come on, Giants. Wake up. I understand you're playing well and you don't want to break the rhythm. Then send him down. That's all I'm asking. It's not rocket science. Either play the guy or ship him down to Sacramento where he can develop. What good is he doing on your bench? It's I don't know. Yeah. George Curry says San Francisco's trying to win. Bottom line, this is a win business. These guys play defense or more advanced as hitters in the Major League Baseball. Yeah, then send him down, George. Got to send him back down so he can play. I get that they're trying to win now. But look, Marco came up and played earlier, and the Giants were 8-1 with him in the lineup. 8-1, even when he was struggling in the field. So if you're missing the point, it's not play him over the guys. You either play him or send him down. The Giants have to, if you've heard of the old saying, crap or get off the pot, that's what the Giants need to do, is crap or get off the pot. It's like, come on, make a decision on the guy. Stop just sitting him and letting him rot on the bench. He's 22. He's not 27, 28, 29 years old. He's still in the top 100. He's a top 100 prospect. Top 100 prospects do not come up to the major leagues and sit, period. Nobody does this. Nobody does this but Farhan. This is why I'm going to tell you guys, yes, the Giants are hot. And look, I'm all about the Giants, okay? Got the stuff on. Giants. Got 2 pair of glasses, too. We don't need that pair. All right. Giants. There we go, guys. Giants are hot. I get it. But you know what? I'm going to tell you, with Farhan running this team, he will muck it up. He will find a way to muck this thing up. And if the Giants somehow get in, it'll be despite Farhan. I'll give him credit for some things, but they've got to. I just think, guys, that this is still a tough road to haul. They're a game and a half out of the wild card. They're playing well. But this team is like this, okay? They're a roller coaster.